These are your evening headlines for March 20th, 2026 right here on BYU-Idaho Radio. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Kimber Pierce. Andrea Schmutz was the winner of the Miss Idaho for America Strong 2026 competition, and she is holding a fundraiser concert before she competes in the national competition with women from across the country.
So the Miss Idaho for America Strong is a national pageant which celebrates accomplished women who are single, divorced, or widowed, aged 18 and older. The competition focuses on empowerment, confidence, and leadership.
Schmutz is holding a piano concert and fundraiser to help raise the funds necessary to compete in Miss America Strong National Pageant. The concert will be held on May 30th in Idaho Falls at the Piano Superstore Gallery. Schmutz's platform while competing in the Miss Idaho for America Strong competition was education.
I learned that I can be a voice, I can have a platform, and I can raise awareness of what my platform would be, and I can share it to a lot of people.
Schmutz is the founder of Empowering Immigrant Women organization in Pocatello. The organization was made to inspire, help, and empower immigrant women in the area.
We do this by providing quarterly brunches throughout the year, and I invite key stakeholders within Idaho to speak to the women in my group.
If Schmutz wins the Miss America Strong National Pageant, she plans to expand and take the Empowering Immigrant Women organization national. You can buy tickets for her fundraiser concert and find more information by searching Andrea Schmutz on eventbrite.com. This week, Governor Brad Little signed an additional 1% budget cut into law. Simon Simpson talked to a pair of legislators to get their take on the cuts.
Every year, the legislature must pass a balanced budget, and this year that has proven more difficult than usual. Representative Michael Veely of Soda Springs and House Minority Leader Ilana Rubel joined us this week to discuss the past budget cuts and their plans for passing a balanced budget. Representative Michael Veely said the budget cuts were necessary to pass a balanced budget.
So that was the total rescission bill. And that total rescission bill included the funding for this year, which a certain amount of that funding had already been baked in for 2026. And then they brought in an additional 1%, again, trying to balance the budget. Some of the revenues that have come in this year are not meeting some of the demands that were out there. And so there had to be some cuts to make sure everything was balanced. So I certainly supported that balanced budget. And then going into next year, there were a number of cuts as well, but that we haven't voted on all those yet.
House Minority Leader Rubel said the budget cuts have affected the mood of the legislature.
This is certainly the worst situation we've been in my 12 years in the legislature, with just deep, terrible cuts to every vital service you can think of. So every day the mood is just kind of, dealing with another facet of society that's, about to get hit badly with a big cut, whether it's cuts to universities or cuts to, healthcare for the disabled, whether it's cuts to mental health, infrastructure, you name it. So that has been it kind of made the mood a bit of a bummer around here. And it's been particularly frustrating for me because it all feels intensely unnecessary, and that this is just a financial crisis of the legislature's own making that could be super easily fixed if they would only let us.
Passing a balanced budget is sure to be the main focus of the legislature with the remaining time of the session. For BYU-Idaho Radio, I'm Simon Simpson.
The city of Pocatello announced yesterday it is reviewing the name of Cesar Chavez Avenue. The roadway is named for a civil rights activist, Cesar Chavez, who died more than 3 decades ago. Chavez co-founded the National Farm Workers Association and advocated for nonviolent activism. A recent New York Times investigation accuses Chavez of abusing young women or minors. The Pocatello mayor and city council are considering a potential renaming of the avenue. Mayor Mark Dahlquist said, quote, "We are taking a thoughtful and measured approach as we gather information and consider any appropriate next steps," close quote. These have been your BYU-Idaho Radio evening headlines for March 20th, 2026. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. For BYU-Idaho Radio, I'm Kimber Pierce.